This is Michael Carson back with another video. Just for the flat out irony, I'm going to read this article by The Guardian. When people are being thrown in jail in the UK for what they post online, this article by The Guardian, a third of UK firms using bossware to monitor workers' activity survey reveals. This stuff was introduced in the early 2000s in the US, and sadly it caught a bunch of people looking at pornography while they were working. Not just social media stuff or Craigslist stuff. I was kind of shocked by the sheer number of people that were looking at pornography while they were at work. It's just, what the heck, man? Like, do you that kind of stuff on your personal devices? Seriously? And some people would actually bring in their personal devices and do that stuff, which would still be caught because they would generally have to usually use the proxy through the company to actually look at the sites, and they didn't block the sites with the proxy at the time when I saw it when it was first introduced. It's pretty hilarious. This article is written by Robert Booth, the UK technology editor at The Guardian. It was posted on Sunday, the 14th of September, 2025. And it starts off, research suggests increase in office snooping in trends that some managers claim undermine trust with staff. When it was first introduced in the US, you actually had to sign a waiver saying that you understood that your internet usage would be tracked. So if they do that in the UK, there shouldn't be a problem. A third of UK employers are using bossware technology to track workers' activity, with the most common methods including monitoring emails and web browsing. Private companies are most likely to deploy in-work surveillance, and 1 in 7 employers are recording or reviewing screen activity, according to a UK-wide survey that estimates the extent of office snooping. The findings, shared with The Guardian by the Chartered Management Institute (CMI), are based on responses from hundreds of UK managers and suggest there has been recent growth in computerized work surveillance. Well, you're using work property to do work, and it connects to the internet. They want to make sure that you're not stealing company secrets and doing things that you shouldn't be doing while you're online. I have mixed feelings about it, in the fact that I don't like to be surveilled, but at the same time, when you're using company property, you should be doing things related to company work, not screwing around on the internet. So that's my feel on that. In 2023, less than a fifth of people thought they were being monitored by an employer. The Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, found the finding that about a third of managers report their organizations are monitoring workers' online activities on employer-owned devices is probably an underestimate, as roughly the same proportion said that they don't know what tracking their organizations do because it's done by a completely different office. IT doesn't talk to the other regular managers, and they're not supposed to either, because they're watching everybody, and they're watching HR too, by the way. HR tends to screw up just as much as everybody else does. People don't even know that. Many monitoring systems are aimed at preventing insider threats and safeguarding sensitive information, as well as detecting productivity dips. But the trend appears to be causing unease. A large majority of managers are opposed to the practice, saying it undermines trust with staff and invades their personal privacy, the CMI found. One manager at an insurance company, which is developing AI systems to monitor staff screen activity to track performance, said it was unsettling. Unsettling if you're not aware of it. Most managers are aware that the company is tracking, because a lot of times managers are using the software to monitor the employees underneath them. So it's not exactly new. Do they not trust their employees to do their jobs? Are they looking to replace them with AI, they said? they're going to replace them with AI. They're going to do it sooner rather than later, and it's going to be quick. It's not going to be slow, and the AI is going to screw up like crazy. It's going to be hilarious. One provider of employee monitoring offers to report on workers' idle time, employees' productivity tracking, and use of unapproved AI or social media, as well as real-time insights into employee behavior, including screenshots, screen recording, keystrokes, and in-app usage. That is why you do not use anything personal on your work computers, because they will keylog your accounts. And they will use that to get into your accounts, because they've done that. That's been done for a long time. Not officially, but it's been done. In response to the findings, the ICO said bosses must make their employees aware of the nature, extent, and reasons for monitoring. Said excessive monitoring can undermine people's privacy, especially if they are working from home. It warned it will take action if necessary. You know how you know you're being monitored? They force you to install the software in your own computer if you're working remotely. And you know right then and there that what the software is for. It even tells you what it's for. It's kind of ironic, so you can't play, oh, I didn't know. You know. Last year, the ICO stopped the outsourcing company Sept from using facial recognition technology and fingerprint scanning to monitor the attendance of staff at a chain of leisure centers. Okay. Monitoring often amounts to the checks inappropriate content is not being accessed, the CMI said, but it warned there's longer-term impact if you are feeling this is Big Brother-like and you are being watched. Well, when you have orientation for your employees, you tell them you're being watched to make sure you're not doing things that are not business-related, company-related on company time, because the company is paying you. Good HR employees during the orientation, tell them this. If you're not telling your employees this, that is on you as a company and on your HR people, because you need to be making that transparent. If you're transparent, it's not an issue, because you'll end up firing the bad employees, because they'll do it anyways. If it is being used, it is incredibly important employers are open, otherwise that is going to cause significant problems in terms of data privacy and protection. Petra Wilton, CMI Director of Policy and External Affairs. Other recent examples of surveillance technology at work include plans by HSBC to install a large number of security cameras, 1,754 by one estimate, and biometrics readers, which use handprints as one way to access areas in its new London headquarters. Yeah, you don't want the wrong people using social engineering to get in the wrong places. That's not news, to be honest with you. The accountancy firm PwC recently introduced a traffic light system using data from past swipes and Wi-Fi connections to check if staff are meeting a mandate to attend the office at least 3 days a week. A spokesman for PwC said, "This was accepted by the vast majority of our people. We also, if you use key cards to get in the building and biometrics, you don't need that other crap." I mean, it can be an additional help, but they have to get into the building. So if they're using the pass keys and the biometrics to get into the building, and they're getting checked on the way in for unauthorized devices and checked on the way out, it's not that big of a deal. A former senior worker at a public transport authority who also asked not to be named called the monitoring they faced, including of their online diary, intrusive and downright harassment. Well, are you doing it on company time? If that's not something you're doing on company time, you're writing your diary, and you're doing it on personal time, don't tell your company about it, because it's none of their damn business, because you're not going to make money off your diary, are you? It started with surveillance and it ended with me leaving because I was so infuriated, they said. 1 in 6 managers told CMI researchers they would consider looking for a new job if their organization started monitoring employees' online activities on work devices. This started in the early 2000s in the USA, so I personally don't have a problem with it, because if you're using company equipment to do company work, you shouldn't have a problem. If you're dumb enough to log into your personal accounts on company equipment, you're asking for trouble, because the IT departments will log into your own accounts with the software. And since you've used company VPNs and company equipment to do it, you'll pass most of the 2FA checks, because you'll proved it like an idiot, because the companies use more than one IP address for stuff. It's funny. Let me continue on. The study found that 53% of managers supported monitoring of employees' online activities on employer-owned devices, but 42% opposed it, mostly because it undermined trust, but it also because they believe it does not improve performance and can be misused or lead to unfair judgments or disciplinary actions. Well, that is true. If you sign a consent form that says you're not supposed to be screwing around doing non-company stuff and you're using company equipment, even when you're off the clock, and you'll get popped for it. It happens all the time. And that is the end of this ironic article. If you find it as ironic as I did, comment down below. If you did not find it ironic and you are mad as hell about it, comment as well. Any comments are welcome. If you feel I missed anything, let me know. And again, I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have any questions, comments, anything you want to add, or to tell me I left something out? Please put them down below. I welcome any sort of commentary. Again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, tell me by leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I don't do Twitter, X, or meta properties like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all those things that they have, and any that they might have added in the future, like Threads. I will see you in the next video.